Trinculo. Sounds like a spell from Harry Potter. Please excuse the way I'm dressed, it's bastard cold. Currently moored in Broxbourne, which is a lovely place to moor, can't deny it. There is a rowing club though. You've probably noticed that already. And because of the rowing club, you'll often get woken up at 7 every morning by people single sculling or double sculling or whatever it's called, up and down the river, sometimes in the middle of the night too, which is weird. Actually, it's not the people rowing on the river that actually wake you up, it's the people on the towpath cycling down the towpath, shouting instructions to the people in the boats. Things like, go faster. So it starts at 7 in the morning, having sometimes continued all night, and it goes on all weekend. Sometimes there's 8 of them in a boat rowing, with of course the female cocks sitting at the back, shouting instructions, like row faster, row more faster, row even faster, things like that. It's a good job for a woman, you know, just to shout at men. I suppose it comes quite natural. Does for my wife anyway. And then when all the rowing has been done, they all go back into their rowing club and drink gin, presumably. It's another complete other world to me. I don't know anything about it. I'd rather stay out of it, really. There's nothing I enjoy more than being warm first thing in the morning. Hence the stuff. No, sometimes I go jogging early morning, but it's very rare. So since I shot that footage, the situation on the River Lea has changed a bit. Okay, so let's have a little chat about the safety zones that have gone up on the River Lea, which I was lucky enough to get up close and personal with in Broxbourne this summer. And it's not just in Broxbourne, it's also in 2 other places on the River Lea where safety zones have gone up. Safety zones. Unfortunately, once these safety zones are up and boaters move their boat down here, it's actually quite shallow. So during low water levels, you can't get a boat in here anyway. There are a few there today. We've had a bit of rain. On the turn at Broxbourne, they've made this bit of safety zone because you don't really want a wide beam there because that's going to complicate trying to make this turn. The first thing I noticed coming around the corner was 2 doubled up narrowboats on the offside on private moorings right opposite the safety zone. So that's not exactly fair. I mean, I can see why they've done it. The amount of boats rocking up on the River Lea and the River Stort over the last few years has been considerable. Years ago, many years ago, there was a news article that I featured in where I talked about London's canals being overcrowded. There are just a lot of people trying to swerve the housing crisis or just trying to find an easier way to live and work on boats. My honest opinion about the safety zones that are now in place on the River Lea is that it doesn't necessarily address the problem, it just pushes the boats somewhere else. In fact, we've already seen lots of people displaying posters in their windows from groups like the NBTA saying that they now moor their boats in the safety zones as a protest. Perhaps a little bit more consultation between boaters and people who want to use the river in another capacity, like for example rowing, could have been done a little bit more extensively. I think that homes for people probably are a little bit higher on the list than people who already have a home and their hobbies. I've always found it very, very interesting that in areas where people are wealthy, you'll see hobbies like golf, cricket, squash and rowing, and in the slightly more poorer demographic neighbourhoods, you'll find more of the boxing clubs. It's a complex issue, but it's something that every boater needs to keep their eye on, because the most concerning thing is that any safety zones that go up and are installed can be extended, and therefore more loss of mooring spaces will continue.